It's happening.
Oh, I see it. I see the live.
Here we are. We're
Hello.
live. Hello, everybody. We are the Cape and Cowl crew. This is the Infinite Awesome Cape and Cowl Book Club show. Nice work. And I am Cody, and I'm joined by these guys who everybody knows already, but let's go ahead and say your names anyway.
You go first.
Oh, no, you go first.
Okay. All right. I'm Kevin. I'm the assistant manager. Hello. I got some good stuff to talk to y'all about. Some real inappropriate stuff.
My name's Aton. I own this place. I own this place that I'm in right now. I own that. And I also own the place that they're in. Not the building, but like the business.
Fascinating.
I guess. Let me break it down for you.
So how are you guys? How are you feeling this evening?
It was a long day. It was a good day. It was a long day.
I know. I'm so tired. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I feel good. I worked from home. Sat in this spot for a lot of the day. I went rollerblading for a little while. I hit my elliptical in the morning. Like I feel fit, fresh, ready to go.
Must be
there
nice.
You go.
Except for my shirt doesn't fit. It's too small. I've gotten too fat for the shirt I'm currently wearing. So that's been a less than great feeling all day. So say goodbye to my IDW shirt because
my IDW shirt.
It's out of here. It's out of here.
We should mention for everyone who's tuned in, if you guys notice any weirdness in the video feed or audio, certainly let us know. This is a little bit less of a test than our first show, but still kind of a test. So any feedback you provide will be noted.
For sure.
For sure. So there was a lot of really good comics. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, excuse me. I'm so excited to be here. I watched almost all of your guys' first episode. I was so jealous not to be here. I saw a spotlight being shown, and it was like physically painful for me not to be in it. I was just like, I cried myself to sleep. It's all I could think about for days after. So I'm just a big fan of what you guys got going on here. So very happy to be here and to talk about comic books with you.
You keep up the compliments like that, you can be on any episode you want, big man.
Okay. Well.
All right. Well, we had a lot of really cool new comics this week, and I think we even managed to pick a couple old ones that we'll talk about. But let's start with the since we didn't get a chance this week due to some shipping issues, we didn't get our stuff till yesterday morning, and usually we have it all ready the night before. So we got our reading done last night, so we weren't really able to do picks of the week since Aton was hanging out at home all day. But we're going to wrap up or fold in the words of Moira from Schitt's Creek. We're going to fold in the new comics for our pick of the weeks, I mean. So let's start that. Cody loved that Moira reference. I knew he would.
You have to fold it in. It just says fold it in.
Fold it in. Fold it in.
I'm sad we didn't get to do a pick of the week reel on Instagram yesterday. That's like a nice thing to. I mean, we were much too busy to do it, and we didn't get the chance to read all the books before then. And I know there's people at home right now that are like, they didn't do a pick of the week reel. Is everything okay? So everything's okay. We'll be back next week. We got ideas.
I think we should follow through with Cody's idea of doing the like horror movie versions, even though Halloween's gonna have passed by then. We should still do it because that was too good of an idea to have to wait a whole year for.
Yeah, but we got to keep that stuff quiet. Don't be leaking all the secrets.
I won't say a word.
I won't say any more words.
Nope. Except that one and those four.
Last week we hopped on Wednesday night and talked about the picks of the week from our reel, but again, I think like you're saying, we're going to do that now, right now, like right this second. Who's going first? I can't wait to hear it.
Let's let you go first from afar, Aton.
Okay. Can't wait. I'm gonna highlight this one right here. The Last Ronin from IDW. It's a Ninja Turtle story. Yeah. This was pretty hugely hyped this week. There's a lot of heat on it. I think there was a lot of heat on it before the release. Like people were really excited about this story. We had a ton of pre-orders for it, about 10 times what we have for a usual Ninja Turtle book. And then word got out that like it was allocated, stores didn't get their full amount, so people have been clamoring to get it. I was very pleasantly not surprised. I was very happy when I read this last night to find that it was really good and a lot of fun. I'm a huge Ninja Turtle fan, but I haven't read the comics regularly ever. I grew up on the cartoon. I watched the movies. I had every action figure from the very first line. You action figure nerds will know what I'm talking about. I had the squishy head turtles, and my dog ate them.
The heads fell off all of mine.
Yeah, they were hard to, and they had like all those accessories you couldn't keep track of. So, but I was not big on the comics. I tried reading them when I was younger. I've jumped in at various points in my like adult comic reading, and it never quite got in there. But this I loved. So it starts with this turtle here. He's like right in the middle of a mission. He's on his way to break into somewhere, and he's talking seemingly to himself. And then very quickly on, you see that the ghosts of the three other turtles are with him, or they're in his head or something. There's like these shadowy representations of the other turtles that he's talking to while on this mission to go get revenge against Shredder's grandson. So this is in the far future. So there's a lot of parallels you could draw between this and like Dark Knight Returns for Batman. It's a future story. It's an aged hero kind of going for one last hurrah to get revenge and make things right. By the end, it's a mystery, the whole issue, on which turtle it is. You can kind of guess and piece it together. They do tell you on the last page. It's just great. This is going to be a standalone Ninja Turtle story that people will be reading for a long time. I mean, based off of the first issue, I think it's a 3-issue story or a 4-issue story. Like when people come to the shop now, 5 issues?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Like when people come now looking for Ninja Turtles, we're going to have like the thing to show them, I feel like. Even though it's a single turtle story, at least you have like there's flashbacks and stuff to all the turtles together. It's just great. It's co-written by Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird, the two creators of the Ninja Turtles, along with Tom Waltz, who's written the Ninja Turtles for the last like 10 years at IDW. So we still have a lot of copies. I know most stores in the area, in the country, are sold out. We still have plenty. So come get one and check it out.
Yeah, it's super, super good. Do you think that you didn't read the comics when you were younger because of the difference in like how lighthearted the cartoon was versus the books? Because the comics were way fucking darker.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I loved I loved the cartoon and the movies. Like those were everything to me. Like I was a super fan, and I remember getting the comics like as a kid. I probably had some valuable ones, and or I don't know. I don't have them anymore. But and it was just like, wait, this ain't right. Which I can imagine like all the people who started with the comics and then saw the cartoon and were like, wait, this isn't right. And it never quite jived. And in like the modern comics, they tend to do more of those personalities from the like cartoon. You know, Michelangelo's still like a party dude, and Raph is still like angry and angsty. You know, still is never quite what I wanted from a Turtles book. I guess I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But this, I'm all in. I'm all about this.
Yeah, I loved it. I thought it was real well done. So since you're a fan of the old Ninja Turtle Adventures, like the show and everything, did you scream a little bit when the flying mousers arrived? Dude, that just like took me straight back to my old Burger King like their version of a Happy Meal. They used to give out those bright orange VHS cassettes with your meal. You like take it
Yes.
home and watch 2 episodes of the Turtles.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I
Um,
have those. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I think it was like FHQ or some company that put out all those.
Yeah.
But yeah, it I love that shit.
I had a box. Well, we got to go to the next book, but I had a box set of Ninja Turtle VHS, the animated series. I wore them out. I watched them so much that they no longer played and had to be thrown away. Like I watched, it was probably a total of 12 episodes, and I just watched those on fucking repeat for years until the tapes died.
Same. Yeah. Nice. All right. Well, that's Last Ronin. Anybody have anything else to contribute, or Cody, you do the next book?
I was just gonna say, like, when it comes to the Turtles, I like really, I think I always miss the boat on them. What I watched forever were my VHS copies of the movies, like each movie, like at least twice in a row, like one after the other.
Oh my god!
Like I loved the movies, and that's kind of the extent of my exposure, other than like some of the cartoon. But yeah, like it took me a long time to find out actually that the comic is as dark as it is. So that was really interesting to find out, and just being like, whoa.
I think that might have been the success of the theatrical movies, was the fact that it did a good job of blending some of the darker elements with all that playful personality stuff. But anyways,
and you got to give it up for that makeup too. That was awesome makeup back then.
Oh my god,
so good.
What's next?
All right.
What do you got?
Cody, why don't you go next?
All right. Yay. Where are my comics? Oh, here they are. Okay. So, the most awesome thing happened yesterday. Stasis came out. This is Ten of Swords. Stasis. I've been looking forward to this so much because, well, A, I didn't know what to expect with this kind of like interlude chapter in Ten of Swords, but also just for that cover by Laraz. This is insane.
It's beautiful.
Cody, make your screen bigger so we can see it better.
This is the kind of comic that like you see on the stands, and like you have to know what's going on.
Yeah.
Like, especially for this to be the cover of an X-Men book, you're kind of looking at it like, who the hell? And like, we know that these guys are all going to be the competition in this tournament of swords, but this issue is our chance to meet each and every one of them. We don't get to spend an incredible amount of time with all of them, but the time we do spend was enough to just get me so hype, especially because each and every one of these badasses has like a completely different reaction to the idea of this tournament. Like some are kind of more hesitant. Others are like, finally, a chance to show you like who's daddy around here. Like, I'm going to show you that like I've been the one the whole time that knows what's going on. There's others like Iska the Unbeaten, who's just like kicking it and having a drink in a bar when she's summoned, and she could just kind of like raises her glass because she's like, I've literally never worried about anything since having powers. And like each of them have such a unique brand of reacting to this. We got Pogger Pog is finally here. X-Men Twitter has been counting down the days for us to meet Pogger Pog. He's already a meme on X-Men Twitter, and now we met him. And it was so worth the wait. He's like this treasure mongering, like he kind of acts like a standard like dragon from a fantasy. But yeah, he's finally here. I mean, just like saying his name has just been like our mantra on X Twitter, but none of us knew what to really expect and like who he's gonna fight. But more than just introducing like our competition in this tournament, this issue also just gives us such expansion on lingering mythologies, especially concerning Apocalypse. There's some revelations in here, more revelations concerning Apocalypse. There's this amazing spread that got me so hype. I'll give you guys a little preview because you'll want to read this once you see this. Where is it?
Show us the spread.
Yeah, I don't know what bookmarking is anymore, apparently. Oh, here. So we get a diagram of some swords. And this is the competition sword.
Cool.
I'm not going to hold up there because you're not allowed to read it. You have to buy it first, silly. But it's so cool because it gives us a lowdown on their powers, their abilities, what we can expect from these guys, and it's going to be so dope. Like if I wasn't excited before about like, because I don't really like action fight books, but like I want to see these guys go toe to toe with each and every one of these X-Men summoned, because the X-Men summoned are like kind of oddball choices. Like I'm so worried about little Dougie, and I just have to know what goes down.
Who is the guy who walked up with Apocalypse to the ring and wear like white robes?
Who? Gorgon, baby.
Ah, okay. Okay.
He's the guy, if you remember from what was that? The dinner party issue of X-Men where they go to that they're like delegates. It's like Apocalypse, Magneto, and Xavier. And like Xavier's just like kicking it because he knows, he's reading minds. He can tell they're about to be double crossed. So all the dudes with the guns are moving in, and they're just having wine and stuff. And like, but in his head, he's just like, Scott, you have eyes on these guys? It's like, yeah, we do. And then Gorgon was one of those guys that came in and like cleaned house when they tried to double cross the mutants. So
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, that was like my favorite episode, our favorite issue of the series so far. I think that was amazing.
Gorgon is always the freaking bee's knees, man. I love Gorgon.
Gorgon's
Best
wild.
costume design too.
Yeah.
I agree with you, Cody. This got me hyped, maybe for the first time, for like the actual battles that are coming in Ten of Swords. I was like, damn, these guys look tough. Like, I'm not like looking at the X-Men team and just being like, it's cool. Yeah. I look at the X-Men team, I'm like, some of y'all gonna die.
Yeah, like there's no way, right? Like once you meet some of these guys, you're like, how do you even beat them? And also, like, I'm proud to say I was really excited because we get more tarot imagery in here, and we know that Teenie Howard has been using tarot a lot. I mean, it's called Ten of Swords. This whole thing's a tarot reference. But I'm happy to report that as I'm reading this, I always like read tarot things in comics with a little bit of skepticism. For people that don't know, my partner reads tarot, so I'm always consulting him. And I consulted him when the tarot came up in this, like how like accurate or consistent is this? And he kind of gave me a lowdown. And then little did I know, it kind of gives you a lowdown in this issue. And he was spot on. So the tarot, even the tarot is tight in this issue, which is really encouraging.
That's hella cool. I
Very
thought it was
nice.
cool before I knew that. Now I think it's even cooler.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
What do you got, Kevin?
All right. I got a book for you. Giga. Giga. Said like Sega.
Yes.
Giga. So Giga is a story that takes place in a world where these giant mech gods roam around and fight wars, and the people of the world revere them and worship them. And then at a certain point, after the mechs were done fighting, they sat down and they allowed humanity to take shelter within their bodies. Already a super fucking cool idea. But the story kind of picks up as one of the explorers from this world is out in the woods, and he stumbles across a giant mech, or mech god, I guess, who's been murdered. This first issue does so much stuff that will keep me coming back for the next issues. I didn't really know what to expect. I'm always down to try new Vault #1. This plot seemed pretty cool, but it was pretty sparse on details. I was just blown away. I don't know what else to say. Let me see if I can find a cool page or two to show you guys, and my colleagues here can join in if they've got anything they want to say.
Didn't that book have some pretty cool variant covers?
Yeah, I'll show you guys the variant. Look at that. That's a giant mech god that the people live in.
The artist on this is John Lee, and I believe this is his first comic.
Damn, he killed it on this comic.
Yeah. So the writer is Alex Packendale.
Yeah.
Who's really good. Did Friendo for Vault.
Oh yeah, Friendo was very, very good. I liked that one a lot. I really appreciated too that like the main character of this story is like a super duper tech savvy young man who's navigating this world without the use of his legs too. Like they don't make a big point of it, but it is definitely an impactful part of the story because imagine trying to roam the woods in a wheelchair and this kid's slogging through mud trying to track down salvage parts in the woods. I mean, I don't know. It just totally painted the picture of the world in a way that I could feel it.
I'm glad you mentioned that actually, because I really thought it was worth mentioning that this is a series with the main protagonist being disabled. And I can only count so many stories where the main character is disabled. It's truly like it's more rare than it should be. And so I was actually really wowed by that too. And he's so smart and confident in the way he goes about everything. But it's cool because we see he's clearly someone who's pretty headstrong and confident. We see that in one of the first pages where he goes against kind of the lead guy talking about their beliefs. And he's just like, well, what about this? And I won't spoil what he said, but you can tell his attitude. He kind of has a personality where he's like, I'm going to tell it like it is. But what's interesting is that we're introduced to him like that, but even his kind of faith gets shaken by something that happens in this book, and you see him start to worry about something, and so you know that like, wow, this is shaking him to his core. So
And you can tell too, like what you just said just kind of made me flash back to going to a Christian high school. You know, it's all like the guy is clearly confident enough in his abilities and his knowledge that he's not buying the whole story that's being fed him hook, line, and sinker, which I think plays in really well to the upcoming story, which is uncovering the mystery of what happened to this dead god. I mean, gods don't die. It's like there's so many cool little religious implications that go along with it that you only start to think about once you realize those things. That I can't wait to see the other layers in this story. It's so cool. All right, I'm gonna go grab the variant while you guys talk more about it. I'll be right back.
Yeah, I wanted to say too that this comic is just, I mean, it's excellent. We all love it here at the store. I was personally completely wowed by it. And one of the things it does really well is it's just grade A world building. It kind of throws you into this already established world. And it's not one of those things that's going to feed you everything. It feeds you just enough. And now we get to know the people involved who are living this reality. And this book does that really, really well. They clearly have a culture in place. They have a belief system. And we're left to kind of, just jump in for the journey, which is really cool.
Yeah, it's always so obvious when the world building is half-assed, when they clearly haven't thought past maybe even the fifth issue or something. This feels like it's a fully thought out story. All right, so this is our amazing Cape and Cowl variant for Giga by local artist Yoshi Yoshitani. I'm going to spin it around. It's actually a wrap around. It's got our logo on the back as well as the destroyed Tribune Tower kicking it amongst all the mech gods. We got these bad boys available for $9.99. As we've totally talked about, it's well worth the price of admission. And this cover is also the same artist who did our sweet Red Snack shirt. So if that looked a little familiar, it's because it's the same amazing artist.
Yeah,
look at that reveal.
That was nice. That was well done. Yoshi is a personal favorite of mine, and I think all of ours. I mean, Yoshi's work is incredible, and this seemed like such a great fit, and it's such an incredible. Yoshi knocked it out of the park. Like, it's so perfect to me. It's limited to 250 copies. We've sold quite a few. I don't have the number. There's still some left. I would recommend getting on it sooner rather than later. I don't expect these to be around for very long. So hop in there, before the hype train leaves the station.
Yeah, it would be such a well-made like TV show or production. I think it's so well done.
Oh yeah, this is going to be a book to watch out for. It's so rich with mythology already with just one issue, and it's really going to take off. I can feel it in my bones. Also, like, I'm such a sucker for robots with feelings. I'm an easy mark for those kind of stories.
Yeah,
that's going on in here too. Like, I was already a bleeding heart for one of the characters.
Absolutely.
Nice. All right, I think we've rounded the horn. I think it's back to you, Eitan, man.
Back to me. All righty. I'm gonna mention. Or do you have a Three Jokers there by chance? Handy?
Hold on, my audio actually just went out.
Oh no. Well, I'll skip something else. Well, Kevin figures out his sound.
Yay, Shang-Chi!
Shang-Chi #2, which is written by the great Gene Luen Yang. And it's a little spotlight. I believe it's a 5-issue miniseries spotlighting Shang-Chi. And in the first issue, we're introduced to his long-lost sister here. I'm forgetting her name.
Sister Hammer, as far as I know, is what we call
it. Oh,
yeah.
Yep. And look at her big old hammer. So you get a little. So in the first issue, you see Shang-Chi just kind of going about his business, and then by the end of it, there's this reveal that he has a sister, and it's her, and it looks like they're going to be in conflict with each other. This issue opens up with a little bit of a flashback showing the two of them as children and how they ended up being separated by basically their dad. Shang-Chi's dad, I guess, is a pretty bad dude. And he made a deal with Shang-Chi basically that his sister would be spared from being in some pretty serious trouble if he would like train to be the master of kung fu, I guess. And so just the next day, his sister's gone, and Shang-Chi all these years has thought that she was dead and that their father had killed her. And so they're reunited here, and they like sit down, and they've got a cute little moment where they eat crystal cakes together, and it's adorable. And I don't want to spoil it, but it does not stay adorable. It's so sad.
Just wanted to highlight, Lynn said total Zuko Azula vibes. It's so funny you said that because, yeah, this whole series gives me Avatar vibes, and I don't think it's a coincidence because Yang is writing it, and Gene Yang knows how to kind of jump in with that kind of mythology. So, yeah, very much that. Very that.
Right, after years of writing Avatar. But yeah, this series is great. I've never, this is another one kind of like the Ninja Turtles. I haven't read a lot of Shang-Chi. He's been on some like Avengers teams that I've read. And I don't know that he's ever gotten the spotlight in those books necessarily. Maybe some like cool moments here or there. But I'm down. I really like this. It helps that Gene Yang's a great writer, and the art's very good in this too. Yeah, highly recommend this one. I think we still have a handful of issue 1 with the cover by local artist Ben Su, and then we've got a handful of these issue 2s. I think we have some of the Alex Ross variants, but I really like this one. Are either of you guys reading this?
Yeah, I'm reading it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
I like
cool.
it.
Yeah.
See, and I have like I have mixed feelings about like the MCU, like the Marvel Cinematic Universe, playing into comics so much. Like I have mixed feelings about that, but one thing that I do really like is that we'll get these new characters in the movies, and you know they want to, for whatever reason, think about it cynically, to make money, whatever. But for whatever reason, a lot of these characters are spotlighted that wouldn't have otherwise. And I'm a huge fan of Marvel Comics B-list and C-listers that don't get spotlights. And one thing that these movies do is they generate interest where there wasn't much. And Shang-Chi is an unsung hero in the Marvel Universe. He's never really spotlighted heavily. Like you said, he's had some story arcs in Avengers books. Guys like Hickman love him, guys that like to dig and mine continuity. But to see a Shang-Chi title on the shelves is like pretty awesome, and it's necessary, and yeah, it's really cool. That's one thing I like about like the whole MCU business.
Yeah, I agree. I don't like the white. I mean, it's obvious because of the era that he was created, but like the whitewashing of the kung fu character with Iron Fist, which was just ruined completely by the fucking TV show.
Well, and it's just so funny because it's like Shang-Chi is right there. Like he's right
seriously. There. Well, even in Iron Fist, didn't he have like an Asian lady sidekick who was like his right hand also? Like, come on, man. Like, I don't know.
He was like way more competent, and well, we could tear apart that fucking Iron Fist show all day.
Let's not.
I mean, they're filming Shang-Chi right now, right? Like in San Francisco, right? Like right now.
Oh, are they filming it out here?
Yeah, Leaf from Mission Comics in San Francisco like shared some pictures of some like streets blocked off, kind of near the water, and like they're filming Shang-Chi right now.
Oh, that's crazy because I think they're also filming The Matrix also in SF right now. There's
really?
few of them going on. Yeah, that's cool as hell.
Crossover.
Hey, it's a good time to film scenes in San Francisco when nobody's on the streets. So
right.
Hey, there you go. Yeah, and Simu Liu is Shang-Chi. So people who like Kim's Convenience.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
that's
it's
amazing.
Her brother is Shang-Chi.
That's perfect. I love Kim's Convenience. Have you watched that, Eitan?
No, I never heard of it.
Dude, that's some amazing background stuff if you want a good show to like dig into. Yeah, it's on Netflix.
Okay.
Yeah.
About a convenience store?
It's about a Korean-owned convenience store.
Wow.
And like Korean family life. It's amazing. It's not like K-drama or anything. It's a comedy.
That's cool. I worked in a convenience store.
Yeah? Quick Stop?
No. There's some little one out in like the woods kind of in Santa Cruz. It was a weird job, but Yeah. Anyway.
Okay. All right. Perfect. All right, Cody, quick, save Aton.
Oh, we're gonna do one of my picks.
Yeah, you're next.
Okay, so I want to talk about one of the best, if not like my favorite book right now, after Coffin Bound. Don't worry, Dan Waters, you still have my favorite book. But The Department of Truth is a new book by James Tynion with the excellent, exquisite, fantastic Martin Simmons on art that I'm just so enamored with. This book is wild. Like, if you didn't check out the first one, jump on it. Do that before this one. But essentially what we have here is a organization of, they're under the United States government, right? It's like the United States, yeah, it's his Department of Truth.
Yeah.
So what these guys do is it's like their job to kind of snuff out conspiracy theory and theorists before it goes too far, because in this book, collective belief leads directly into reality. So if enough people believe something, it manifests itself in our reality, which, as you could imagine, is incredibly dangerous. Have you ever had that friend that starts going off on something and you know it's just bonkers and you know it's like hurtful, like information to be spreading? These guys put that kind of thing to sleep. But this issue jumps further into the main character, which I actually really appreciated because I adore the first issue. I think it's a perfect comic. But if there was anything that it was lacking in getting a grasp on who our main character is. Part of that is because he's such a staple ride-along character that you're just kind of you're there for the ride, taking in all the information he's taking in. But in this book, we get to know him, and I think that's really important for any comic, is to know our protagonist more than just like, it's an avatar for you. It's like, yeah, but like sometimes it won't be. And this issue fills in a lot of holes that the first issue left me with, being, who is this guy? We jump into some of his traumas and how that contributes to a conspiracy that's like the investigation is actually opening again. Directly ties into something in his history. Won't spoil it, but fans of like Satanic Panic and 80s stuff, this is the perfect issue for you. Some nightmarish artwork by Martin Simmons. I'll show you one of the first pages to avoid spoiler territory, but we open with a lovely demonic-looking entity eating a baby.
A baby.
So yeah, just like a lot of that's just one of the lovely nightmare sights you'll see in this book. But also, it's just so stylish. I can't recommend Martin Simmons' work enough. If for nothing else, it's worth admission. But luckily, we're in great hands with James Tynion as well when it comes to storytelling. But the stylish way that this, I can't even see what I'm doing. Oh, but yeah. Look at that. The textures, the patterns, the colors, the line work. This is definitely for fans of, I feel like I always say this, but Bill Sienkiewicz. Go ahead.
I was going to say, it's got a much more readable Ben Templesmith sort of feel to it.
Yeah.
And Templesmith or Huddleston. Huddleston?
Yeah, some of Huddleston's stuff, yeah.
Yeah. But I agree wholeheartedly, Cody. That book's so damn good. I mean, it's like, it's
crazy.
It's unreal. And it's like the perfect marriage of writing and art. It just like, that's just like what comics should be. And it's not going to be like, I said, like, you know, I don't know what I was trying to say, but the pairing of the way he's putting that story with that art style, like, I think any other art style is not going to keep you off balance in the same way, and just like have you questioning what you see and kind of uncomfortable all the time. And it's just perfect.
Right. You have a point, because that's such a big part of the story, is like, is what we're seeing real? Are we to believe it? And the dangers of believing it and joining that system of belief. So yeah, it's so hard to talk about without getting into spoiler territory, but just know that this is, in my opinion, truly one of the strongest books on the imaginary stands right now that hopefully you'll be able to look at one day. But but yeah, honestly, one of the best things I've read in forever is this series. This is truly unique. It's original, and I can't recommend it enough.
And I get the sense too, just the way that they've handled the first two issues. Like Cody said, this issue handles a bit of the Satanic Panic conspiracy theory stuff, and the first issue was a bit more of flat Earth and the moon landing being fake. So I mean, if they keep moving through all these crazy publicly held beliefs that are not true, but when collective conscious or collective belief makes it reality, I cannot wait to see what other crazy shit they bring up.
I mean, and what a concept too. Like, what an idea for a comic book. It's brilliant. It's so brilliant.
Yeah, I dig it. I think it's also even scarier nowadays because of all the false truths and fake news and all that shit. You know, you get enough people believing a flat Earth, and all of a sudden you got a flat Earth with a wall of ice at the end of it.
I know,
Like,
that's why I wish I could have been like a fly on the wall when Tinian is pitching this, because I just picture
Yeah.
like, what if fake news, but like real because people said, okay, you know, and it's like everyone gets a chill down their spine and like, nope. Like, we need a
Right.
whole organization to stop that from happening, and that's what we get here, and it's so badass.
yeah, I loved it.
Absolutely.
Lint says the other white meat talking about
Oh,
babies.
come on.
No, Lint, no.
Babies.
Stop it.
Bad.
Dead baby jokes. Sorry, that's inappropriate, guys. I've been informed that if we're ever to monetize this, I can't be telling dead baby jokes
Please
using
don't.
certain words. Okay, so I gotta. Do we all want to say anything else about Department of Truth?
Come talk to us about it at the shop. We got plenty to say about it and plenty of copies left of both 1 and 2. Hit us up if you want any. We've got the variants. We've got it all.
Yeah, I was gonna say lots of amazing B covers and CDE incentive variants. So check those out on the website if you want to see the spread.
Yeah, just the variants are worth mentioning for this one because, yeah, this week was Christian Ward. Next week is Sorrentino. Andreas Sorrentino's on the next one. Like, the variants are out of control. Like, Tinian brought all his homeboys and girls to the party for this one.
Yeah,
it's going to be really cool.
Frizen on the A cover, on the B cover of issue 1, too. It's just, it was a peach.
All hail the tiny onion. All right, cool. I got another kind of spooky one. I don't know if you guys read this one this week. It is another Vault title. I don't even think anyone expected that I would pick this one as one of my picks. The Autumnal, issue number 2, is a very, very creepy story about a lady's return to her hometown after her mother passes away. But this town just ain't right. I saw a great review when I was looking at some other shops that were posting about this on release day, and one of them called it Gilmore Girls, but super evil. And I thought that was so good because my wife is currently making me rewatch all of Gilmore Girls with her. But it's like this quaint little town that seems like it's on the up and up, and it just seems like a little Vermont. You know, the leaves change and all the tourists come, but there's something weird going on with the leaves in this town, and the people are just really odd. I don't even think we have quite a beat on what's happening in the town, other than it's messed up. I don't really know how else to describe it. She doesn't actually, at the beginning of the issue, she hasn't even seen her mother after she died or gone to her ancestral home or any of that, and she's like camping out on a park bench with her daughter. Like, it's just a really weird vibe from this book. The lady's clearly had some really rough times before this happened, and she's come to this town, and the people don't like her mother, and you don't know why. I don't know. If you like mood comics, you like creepy shit, I would highly recommend it. Let me show you guys a piece of cool art. This is just the opening page. This is just her and her daughter in the park after dark because they about to sleep on that bench. And you can see right from the first page, the leaves are already causing something. So I don't know. I think you guys should check it out. It's definitely worth at least the first 2 issues so far. I really liked it. I'll keep you guys updated. I think that this one's going to be a really good one. I could totally see it getting the film or show treatment at some point.
I started to read it earlier today. It didn't quite get all the way through, but you're right. Like, there's a whole mood there. There's like a whole feeling. You're right there. Almost immediately, the vibe is set. Like Vault's one of our favorite publishers, and like they're really on a roll right now. It's really cool to see them having a bunch of success and putting out a bunch of good books.
Yeah, it's so good. It gives me there was another book I was considering about bringing on when we get to the old stuff, but it feels very much like Outcast. Like from the very first page, the colors and the way the art's rendered just leaves you feeling a little uneasy. Like in the
Right.
conversations that happen, you can almost see the words that aren't being said. I don't know. It's just masterfully written. This is actually by Daniel Kraus and artist by Chris Sheehan. I don't know much else that Daniel Kraus has done. Do you guys?
I don't, not just by the name.
Yeah,
Sheehan sounds familiar,
it does.
but I'm spacing.
Oh my
Uh,
God. Okay, here. I always forget that Vault does this. They actually give you like the perfect little teaser synopsis on the back of the issues. Okay. After missing the funeral of her estranged mother, Kat and her daughter Sybil hope to fit into the quaint town of Comfort Notch. But the town's obscure history and strange customs make it a struggle, leading to a shocking confrontation.
uh,
There you go. If that didn't catch you, I don't know what will.
I read like I must have read the first 10 pages, and like what I thought was done really well is like this mom and her daughter, as far as I've been, they interact with two people, and the two people are both like pretty nice. It seems like they are
Yeah.
helpful, and like I don't trust them at all. Like not
No, not at all.
all. Like and like there's really not much there to make me not trust them. It's just these people like
Yeah.
kind of going out of their way to be nice and like
Yeah.
saying helpful things. I'm like, you motherfucker, what are you
Dude,
after?
and then random panels of piles of leaves. Like, what the fuck is going on? Where are these leaves coming from? What's wrong with the leaves? I don't know.
Yeah, that's good.
Right on.
I just have to take this opportunity to mention The Happening by M. Night Shyamalan. Never trust the rustling of the trees and the wind and the leaves. Sorry, I love that movie. It's such schlock and I love it.
That movie I actually enjoyed watching along with is it The Lady in the Lake? About that whole like mythology that opens up in the pool behind that guy's apartment building. Anyways, off topic. Check it out.
That sounds scary.
It's not that scary. It's really, really freaking good. But I know a lot of people that would disagree with me. I think that movie got pretty well panned when it came out.
I liked it, but yeah, everyone hated it, but I liked it.
Yeah, I don't get it. All right.
Okay. I would like to talk about Three Jokers, but I don't have a copy here. Can you just show a cover to the camera? I read it early. We get our DC stuff early, and I read it like 5 days ago.
Ooh, spooky Joker.
So that there's the final issue of Three Jokers, which was a 3-part prestige format DC Black Label book, written by Jeff Johns with art by Jason Fabik. And it was really well done. I mean, as expected from Jeff Johns and Jason Fabik, it was really good. And the idea is that there's three Jokers terrorizing Gotham, terrorizing the Batman family. There's the criminal, who's kind of like the original Joker, who's just like this older, kind of creepy, like he's kind of gives me Jack Nicholson Joker vibes, where he's like a bad guy with makeup. Like he's a
mobster.
Nicholson like hams it up sometimes, but he's also like he's like a gangster, you know.
Yeah. He's like the anti-camp gangster. And then the comedian's the campy one, right?
Right. So, and then there's the comedian who's like kind of the classic take on the Joker, who's just like thinks everything's hilarious and is like making really bad jokes the whole time. And then there's the comedian, the criminal, and the
comedian, the clown, and the criminal.
Clown. Right. The clown is not in this story very long.
No, the clown, something happens to him in the first couple issues.
But But basically, and then the protagonists of the story are Batman, Batgirl, and Red Hood, the three people who have been most greatly affected personally by the Joker. Batman for the loss of his Robins, just the constant terror that he causes in Batman City. Thanks, Hank. The Batgirl, of course, is shot and put into a wheelchair, paralyzed by the Joker, and then Jason Todd, Red Hood, who is killed by the Joker, dead. So them teaming up to take on these Jokers, it gets into my favorite. It's one of my favorite things. I'm a huge surprise. I'm a huge Batman fan, guys. I don't know if you know this about me. I really like Batman. Yeah. And one of my, I know, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to spring it on you like this now, but like I have to say this now. I'm a Batman fan. One of my favorite things in Batman is the relationship between Bruce Wayne and Jason Todd. And like all like throughout their whole relationship, not just like when Jason returns from the dead, but like Batman being kind of fucked up and bringing in Jason who's fucked up and it never really working and them never really like clicking. And then like the Under the Red Hood story when Jason Todd comes back from the dead and confronts Batman, and he's so hurt by the fact that that Batman didn't kill the Joker after the Joker killed him. Like, you have everything you need. You could just kill this guy because he killed me. And like you love me and you didn't kill him. Like, aren't I more important to you than he is? You know, it's like, it's fucking amazing. Judd Winnick wrote that. Judd Winnick is an amazing superhero comic writer, and he doesn't do it anymore. But anyway, that part of their relationship comes back in a big way in this story, where Jason Todd's ready to kill these fucking Jokers. He's like, okay, let me show you how it's done. You wouldn't do this. I will, you know, and that's, to me, the most interesting part of this whole story, is the relationship of those three characters, their relationship with each other because of the Joker. So it's all handled really well.
No, Aton, just to clarify, there are 3 Jokers in the main continuity of Batman in the DC universe. They are not alternate dimension Jokers, is that correct?
But yes, I'm glad you asked. Thank you for that very important question. That's correct. These
There
are all in
3 Jokers in continuity in the main DC universe, is that correct? Just
correct.
I think that's correct, Cody.
Correct. Yes,
Thank
I've been
you.
saying that this whole campaign. I've stood by that since day one. There are 3 Jokers in continuity, but there's a very logical reason why. It's not too crazy supernatural or anything. I don't want to spoil it. Like, it's 3 issues. Go read it. I think the book comes out in like 2 weeks.
It was yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
No, sure. I was like, if you're a fan of the DC universe, this is one of those kind of tentpole series that you're going to want to have read. There's a massive reveal at the end of this book that I'm very interested to see how it plays out. If you are a collector and like to stash things that may pay off later, I would grab a copy of this one. And that would be like a long-term thing. But I'm fascinated to see where what could come of what's revealed on the last couple of pages of this book.
Did you notice the design elements to it? How almost every page is 3x3 panels.
Oh, I didn't really.
Every page is a 9-panel grid, and in cases where it combines the panels, it still sticks to the same format. I don't know. It felt really reminiscent of like Doomsday Clock style art, where it's a 12-panel.
Which gets it from Watchmen.
Right.
And I don't really remember that about the Killing Joke. The Killing Joke's a 9-panel grid, but that would make sense.
Yeah, it was so well done. I loved the ending. I thought it was great. I wasn't sure what to expect, but I was 100% satisfied.
Yeah, and I'm glad it ended that way as opposed to like. Well, I really don't want to spoil it. I was agreed. Very happy
Read
with
it.
the ending. Very
Read it.
interesting. Yeah, read it.
All right. Hey, Cody, you think we can get 2 more in the next 10 minutes?
I know, isn't that amazing? This really flew by.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do we have? I have one more. You have one more?
I have one more. Yeah, we could talk about it. We'll just make this a new release video.
Yeah.
I can
Yeah.
save this other stuff till next week.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, my last one's really quick anyway, so I'm confident we can do it.
Okay.
I mean, because the truth is, I don't even have like an incredible amount of things to say about this book other than it's just a lot of fun. Like, it does. Okay, I'm going to say the title. This book is called The Unkindness of Ravens. It is 2 issues in. It is by Dan Panosian and Mariana Ignazi. This book to me, just like honestly, it just feels familiar. It feels like coming home because what it is it's basically like The Craft with a little bit of like Mean Girls sprinkled in. So we have like your pretty standard like high school drama fare. There's a new girl in town. Where will she fit in? We don't know. The cool kids, the lame kids, the band geeks, the sexually active band geeks. Like we don't know yet. So she starts at this school, and guess who she falls in line with? Witches. Real life witches, which is like really cool because who doesn't want to have friends that dress really cool and alternative and goth and actually do real magic? I know I always wanted that. And this book is just like very that. Like if you like The Craft, you'll like this book. Basically in this issue, in the first issue is basically like what I said. It's like the new girl in town. She gets a weird message from these girls and she like is freaked out by them because the whole school kind of doesn't talk to them because they're spooky. And then there's the popular girl who's like, hey, come sit with me. And the witches are like, no, don't sit with her. And she's like, why? And there's all these mysteries because like she lost people in her family and so did this other girl. And the popular girl wants her to come over and the witches are like, don't do it. And like the witches seem to think that the like popular girl has some heavy dark secret. Like the popular girl to me is more scary. Anyway, I'm giving everything away, I think, but there's things I haven't given away. That's why you should read this book.
Like what?
If you like Craft, if you like Mean Girls, if you like witches, and you like badass females who can do magic.
Did you say it had some Buffy vibes too?
It has, yeah, maybe like season 1 Buffy, like campy Buffy, yeah. I mean, Buffy is always campy, but like, you know, ultra camp, like Monster of the Week Buffy.
Who does the art? Can you show us a panel from this issue that you like?
I think Mariana Ignazi is the artist. Yeah, Mariana Ignazi. Here, let me show you some cool stuff.
You got 2 whole minutes. You're doing great.
Thank you so much. I don't know. I don't want to give away this one. The coolest panel is kind of like a whoa moment.
Do it.
Just show us a part of it.
Okay, no, I'll show this one. I'll show this one. Hold on. So this is pretty cool. She gets home from a long day at school, which remember how horrible those were when like all the judgment is flying and everyone's going through puberty and it's chaos? I remember that. She gets home after a long day. She falls asleep in her bedroom and like, boom, there's witches and they do a ritual around her body. She wakes up and it's a dream, but did the things that happened in that dream really happen? We don't know. You got to read the book.
I bet they did.
It's really fun. It's just like so fun. And like the concept is not complicated. It doesn't reinvent the wheel, but it's like so enjoyable. And it's just, it fills that need in me for like bitchy witches, you know, like mean girls who do dark magic. That like I am always down. Like it doesn't even matter. So I subbed and I'm going to stay subscribed because I think it's cool. And you should too.
Hashtag witches.
No,
that was a terrible combination of the word bitch and witch. Yeah. All right, I got one. I got a cool one. This one is probably the most irreverent, ridiculous, inappropriate comic that's coming out right now. This comic is called Heavy. It is also a Vault comic. I'm going to read you the little recap on the back. Bill may be dead, but he's got a job to do. Saddled with the worst possible partner for potentially all of eternity, Bill must decide whether he can give his greatest enemy a clean slate and earn his fresh start beyond the big weight. A hard decision to make while you're jumping through time and space, knocking out teeth. A story about the existential purpose of dumb boys with big guns. So this whole story is about, I guess, when people die, it's kind of like a purgatory. They go to this place where they fall into one of, I think, 3 different categories. One of those categories is the heavies. They travel through time and space, kicking the ass of villains or shitty people. I think at one point, one of his partner turns a Gatling gun on Richard Gatling, the creator of said gun. And then they even fight in random. I don't think, should I talk about that thing? I don't know if it'll spoil it.
Yeah, we're not.
All right.
We're not
All right.
yet, buddy.
All right, Cody, make me big.
Cody, plug your ears. You're young.
The Night of the Secretion Demons. Those are giant baby batter monsters. So this is in a plane of existence where STDs were never a thing, and so humanity just continued to get more and more depraved. And they're at a point in 2035 where you can do it with any adult anywhere and not earn a sideways glance. But then a time traveler introduces a mutative contagion into the global orgy, and it results in these giant secretion demons. So yeah, they're taking guns and swords and they're fighting giant monsters made out of jizz. I don't know. If that doesn't sell it, you probably wouldn't like it anyways.
I read that issue and the line was funny. I mean, it's inappropriate. I guess, I don't know, but like, it's kind of a montage of these 2 partners that hate each other so much, or the one guy hates the other and the other guy's like too crazy to really care. Or too fucked up to really care. They're like, one of the missions they've been sent on is to, like, I guess, wipe out this platoon of Nazi youth. And the guy's like,
oh yeah,
kids, and he's like, Nazi is the operative word here. You have to be a Nazi to be a Nazi youth, and he's just like cutting all their heads off and fucking.
Oh yeah. The emphasis is on Nazi, Bill, not youth. You don't need pubes to be a Nazi. And then there's a point when his partner's complaining. He's complaining to the bosses of this dimension. He's like telling on his partner. He says, yesterday he broke Helen Keller's knees. I mean, this dude is just bouncing through history, and he was a psycho in real life. He was an evil psycho, but as a heavy, he is one of their shining stars in this organization. And did I mention he's also the guy that killed his partner when they were alive? So you can imagine why they don't get along very well.
Killed his partner's wife too, I think.
Yeah, I think he paid to have his partner's wife killed and then killed him or something.
Okay.
But it's like it's bananas. It's they don't pull any punches at all, and they don't come off as too gross or like over the top like books like this can tend to be. I think it's the perfect. It's walking on the line perfectly. It has a very strong chance of falling off either side, but for now, I'm going to keep reading it until that happens. So.
I agree with you, but I do think it's funny to say a book that has giant cum monsters isn't over the top.
Thank you. That's what I was going to say.
I mean, yeah, there's not.
But no, you're right. I
feel like they could have fucked it up with a bunch of jizz jokes, but they don't really. They're just more like, are we really going to fight these giant semen monsters? And the level-headed dude is like, nah, let's go back. And his buddy's like running at him with a sword. Like he's gonna get up close and personal to kill these giant blobs of jizz. Amazing writing.
Now, Kevin, can you confirm something for me? Is this book written by Max Bemis, the vocalist of Say Anything?
Yes, Cody, that's correct. It is written by Max Bemis, the vocalist of Say Anything, which actually makes a lot of sense when you consider the topics we just talked about.
Thank you so much.
I have something to add also. The artist Eric Donovan. I had dinner with him one time. I had dinner with Eric Donovan one time. Yeah. It was like a table of 12 people. We were on opposite sides. Not very many words were said.
How drunk was he?
I think he was doing some work. Yeah.
Nice.
We were out with the Vault Boys, the Wassel brothers, and Vault Dave, our very own Vault Dave, and they were buying and we were drinking, but we were separated by like 6 people. We could be friends.
It's a humble brag, no big deal.
There's nothing humble about my bragging. Please don't take me wrong. Please don't misinterpret my words.
Oh, oh my gosh, guys, we made it to a full hour and we didn't talk about any old books.
Shit.
I don't
I
even
know.
care though. There was too much good shit this week. What are you gonna do?
I also want to highlight, Henry, thank you for pointing out my love for Coffin Bound. Anytime you want to talk about Coffin Bound, absolutely, there's much to talk about.
Oh, you guys
Wow.
are the best. Thanks for joining in. I'm glad this chat got rolling partway through. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, that was great. Thank you guys for having me. This was super fun.
Yeah, anytime.
Look forward to the next time. And bye-bye.
Yeah, as
Bye-bye.
usual, if you guys liked it, make sure you hit subscribe, click the little bell. You'll get notifications every time we do this, which is going to be helpful. Give us a thumbs up if you had a lot of fun. If not, just kindly walk away. You can shop online, capeandcowlcomics.com, for any of the books we talked about. Feel free to add it to a cart, add it to your collection. Love life. You can find me at The Mutant Menace everywhere on the internet for all of my comic book thoughts. And these guys, yeah, basically Cape and Cowl Comics. That's where you can find them and me.
Thanks, guys. We're gonna work on getting you a cool intro.
Yeah,
Stay tuned.
If anybody out there watching this that's got like animation skills, music skills, karate skills, who just like wants to show off. I mean, that wouldn't really make a good intro, but I'd like to see some karate skills. Yeah, stay in touch.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.